Hey guys, the answer is no. This is going to be a quick insight. I want to really murder the other ones. I have this quarter so I can get to my 7th, 8th, and 9th EPs that I'm dropping in 2020, and no, that's not a joke. Now, before I get to the 2 reasons why a rapper does not need a manager, especially at the beginning of their careers, at least, a very wise Kanye West once said, I no longer have a manager, I can no longer be managed. Number 1 is self-sustenance. The more you can do without the help of other people, the more you can do with the help of other people. There's a degree of this to which you hit diminishing marginal returns, at least in my experience. But I'm not really scared of that degree anymore. I'm not scared of that threshold. Now, that does have a lot to do with leverage, but someone once asked me if I work with people in general, or how often. I was like, not really. Yes, why? I was like, well, a while ago it had to do with the fear of time, money, and energy wastage. Nowadays, it actually has a lot more to do with prediction of long-term bets based on studies and the mechanisms of the future. And if you want to talk about being self-made and educating yourself, that has been a thing of the future since the fucking brightest and darkest days of human history. And I'm convinced that even with AR and VR and automated software and all that other shit, this isn't gonna change anytime soon. It's important to remember that at some point, your business as a musician, especially, will eventually outgrow your ability to bend over the fucking backwards, probably responding to people about things that don't seem that important, scheduling recording, sessions, mixing, networking, audience building. It may feel sometimes like you're spreading yourself too thin, but a lot of artists will find managers and expect them to do way more than whatever their original job description is, even though, honestly, because of things like this, may be incredibly fucking vague and make no sense at all, and not even be written down on paper. Which is, you know, a lot of artists will just work with their friends as managers and wonder why nothing gets done. Meanwhile, a lot of artists will do the same and get opposite results for sure. But the wrong selection of associates can really fuck with how far you actually take things and go in any given amount of time. And that's not just my experience speaking. It's also a big reason I just don't trust people when it comes to things like this. When people reach out to me, even effectively, I'm just thinking, okay, but if they want to just offer me something and not expect anything else in return, what the fuck am I willing to take other than money at this point? Because I'm not easily impressed at all. And I don't want to be like a sour dickhead about their work when they spend so much time on it. So maybe it still has to do with fear. I don't know. On top of that, I tend to ask myself, what can't I do? Everything I really need to do right now, I can do without the help of other people. And this is something I find extremely convenient. But what the fuck do you need a manager for? There are only so many things you can do at once, and every second counts. Everything I need a manager for, I don't have time for. My time is more important than a manager, because I am my own time manager, and I don't need any of that shit, or help with it. If you are starting out, one of the last things at least that I feel like you might need to worry about is finding a manager. I haven't worked with Cardi B or Migos. You guys know I'm not one to brag about credentials or anything like that. I haven't produced for Travis Scott. I haven't ghostwritten for Drake, at least according to the Scorpion credits. But I can promise you that there are more important things, as people who have been in those positions could probably agree with me, for people starting out to be focused on than finding a manager. Because seriously, what's there to manage if you think about it? You know what I mean? There are rappers with 12 followers on SoundCloud, 80k fake plays on their Killshot remix, 3 to 4 real plays on the rest of their 2 songs, and their very own management team. If your management team is bigger than your fan base, are you focused on the right things? I got another video on that coming soon. I'll link in the description when it comes out. Number 2 is ways to success. Now, I am not and probably never will be as successful as I'd like to be. If you're watching this video, chances are you aren't as successful as you'd like to be. But I think based on any success either of us has achieved so far, or maybe the bigger achievements, we can say at least one of 2 things about success. There is no straight path or defined way to success, because 2, success means something different for everyone. When I left Atlanta to move back to Westchester, Pennsylvania, which by the way is still in progress at the making of this video, but if you gotta take 2 steps back and 1 step forward because you can't figure out how to take 2 at a time just to get back to where you were before and move onward, if you're gonna take 1 step at a time, do it viciously. I realized that there is not one way to success. The way I was going in Westchester before I went there to Atlanta was the way I guess I originally wanted to go. And if I had to go to learn that for myself, then fucking whatever. I mean, it's not like it's still happening. I was just sold on an opportunity that I couldn't figure out how to ultimately squeeze. the value out of like I was doing with my time in Westchester. And this really fucked me up. But I also realized that not everyone defines or looks at success in the same way. And chances are, whichever way that is for you, there's probably no straight, easy, immediate path to it. There are gonna be plenty of bumps in the road, but those are part of the road, and that just makes it all more beautiful, because nothing beautiful is perfect. Is it? My intentions were and still are to recalibrate the direction of modern culture and shift it to thinking more about self-growth and less about self-doubt. Because is that not what we want? If it's not what we want, is there not a difference between what people want and what people want to want? A manager and you may not have the same goals. You may not have the same interests. You may not have the same workflows, energies. You may not have the same values, priorities. And I may not be someone who works with everybody all the time. Dude, if I'm gonna work with someone long-term, it's gonna be someone who's on top of their shit, or beyond on top of their shit. As a self-employee, as much as I hate to say this at the moment, their competition is me. If you are a rapper considering getting a manager and I were you, I would at least ask myself the following 4 questions. Is this worth my time? What is there to manage? What's the difference between wanting something and wanting to want something? And which of those describes my consideration of getting a manager? Please let me know in the comments below. Also let me know if you guys have any ideas you want me to talk about in future videos, and I'll give you a shout out if and when I use them. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up. There are links at the bottom of the description of all my social media. Also at the bottom of the description there are links to my new production kits where you can find all the hardware and software that I use to make music and these videos. If you buy any, I get commission, which helps me build this channel and keep making these videos for you guys. I made all the beats in this video. If you want to use them, you can find links to each one that I use from first to last in the description or at samuel.earth/beats. Make sure to leave a like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. If you could turn on that little bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that would be the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can find me everywhere, and I will see you then.